Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a comparison between all 5 of these cordless vacuums on the floor. We're going to be doing a hard wood floor test or a tile test, whatever you guys want to say, with the Black+Decker 16 volt, the Dyson V8, the Levoit, the Shark Pet, and then finally the Bissell CleanView XR Pet. We've been doing a bunch of tests on these, but in this video we're specifically looking to see which one does the best just on your normal floor instead of sweeping. So for the floor test, we're going to be cleaning up tortilla chips, rice, and hair. The rice may be a little hard to see, but it is just some white jasmine rice, and we have a bunch of tortilla chips here. So let's go ahead and start with the Black+Decker, and we'll see how all of these vacuums perform. And I will be using the same power level on all of the vacuums, just the standard power level. I'm noticing just a small amount of kickback. And when I say kickback, I mean like debris getting pushed out there. So just keep in mind, this Black+Decker does have an auto adjustment for the power level. So it did kick up a little, but there's nothing I could do to control that. Overall, it did pretty good. It is harder to clean up off the floor sometimes with these types of vacuums, but it did a pretty good job. Next up, we're going to be cleaning the rice. And I'm noticing just a little bit of kickback again, but nothing too bad. It's honestly pretty good compared to some of the other vacuums I've tested out in the past. So next up we have hair. We're gonna go ahead and throw a few strands all over just to make this a little harder. So let's go ahead and try it out. And for all of the vacuums, I'll go ahead and look at the brush roller afterwards. We're not noticing too much hair, so overall this one does seem fairly tangle free. So next up, we're going to be using the Dyson V8. And very, very little kickback on this one. This one's doing really good on the floor. It seems like better on the floor than the carpet. Next up, we have the rice test. And so far, I'm really impressed with this vacuum as well. I think it's done the best on the floor out of the 2. I'll be excited to see how the other vacuums compare to this one. All right, then lastly for the Dyson, we have the hair test. We're gonna kind of spread that around. We'll see how this does. This vacuum should be the least likely to get tangled, so we'll see how it does here. So let's take a look. And once again, very, very little hair on this brush roller. The Dyson vacuum does a great job at cleaning up hair. Next up, we're going to be testing out the Levoit. So far, it's doing a pretty good job. It's not leaving too much behind. I feel like if I kick this up to the max power, it would probably leave nothing behind. Next up, we have the rice test. Now it's leaving almost nothing behind when it makes a pass. This has been one of the most impressive vacuums so far to me. And so far, even when I did the carpet test, it was the least likely to get a bunch of hair strands stuck in the brush roller. Then lastly, for the Levoit, we have the hair test. So let's go and take a look at the roller. And once again, I see no hair on this roller at all. I love their design. of the Levoit vacuum. Next up, we're gonna be using the Shark vacuum. And we will be using the actual floor mode option since this vacuum has it. So far, this vacuum is leaving a little bit behind, and it may just be because the brush roller is getting a little bit more clogged with hair as we've been doing more and more tests with it. I think if we kicked it up to the max power, it would clean it up no problem still though. Now moving over to the rice test. This time it left very little behind. The vacuum seemed to have an easier time doing these small debris items like rice. All right, and now we're gonna do the hair test. We'll see how this one goes because I could already see a good amount of hair on this brush roller. As you guys can see, there is a good amount of hair stuck in here after all of our testing today. So it may be to the point where I need to go take some scissors to the brush roller and cut that hair off. Basically, you can see that there's a ridge right here and no ridge there. That's because you guys could slide your scissors under there and remove all this hair from your pets or yourself or whatever you're cleaning up. Lastly, we'll be testing out the Bissell CleanView XR Pet. This one seems to do a great job on both carpet and floors. It didn't leave too much behind, but it did leave a little. And once again, if I kick this up to the max mode for like a quick cleaning test, it would definitely pick it up a lot faster. Next up, the rice test. And this vacuum's leaving very, very little behind, even in the grout where it's harder to pull the rice out. Overall, very impressed with the Bissell right now, mostly because this thing did a great job on carpet and now the floor. So let's go ahead and see how it does with the hair. I'm gonna go ahead and separate the hair a little bit more just to make this a little more realistic. And even from far away, it will suck the hair up before it's even above it. So that's how powerful the suction power is. Now let's take a look at the bottom, and it's pretty clean. We have a few hair strands, but not much at all. So I'm definitely pretty impressed with the Bissell vacuum right here. So there you guys have it. That is my quick comparison between all 5 of these vacuums on the floor. Overall, these all do a great job and they're all pretty easy to move, but there are definitely some differences. So hopefully you guys were able to see which one's gonna work out best for you in this review.